Hello, just another very quick video. Warcom has again released an update, this time around the character Yarrick. So just going to go through the datasheet that they've kind of revealed, and yeah, that's about it for today. So they've given us the full sheet, obviously no points or anything like that. So obviously the capability of this character is going to obviously vary depending on the points cost. How he'll stack up against other kind of comparable levels will remain to be seen. Obviously this is the first page. He then does also have the Hero of Hades Hive ability as mentioned in the kind of the ability side, which is effectively giving him abilities in kind of likes of Primarch level or a Raider for Drakari, because that's their equivalent Primarch. So he has a slightly improved stat line over General Guardsman, where he is T4. He does have a 4-up invuln, but only a 4-up base save. He has 5 wounds, leadership 6, and 1 OC. So pretty standard overall, including the fact that it moves 6. So nothing out of the ordinary with that kind of thing. In terms of weapons, he does have a short 12-inch range precision weapon, which is strength 6, AP 2, damage D3 plus 1, but is 2 attacks. So the odds of it being able to snipe out a character, especially where it hits on 2s, is pretty high because, yeah, 2 attacks, so you're looking at an average of about 6 damage overall if both hit, both wound and go through. So particularly against things like Space Marines or Orcs could be pretty interesting, being able to remove that character. It is danger close, it is 12 inches, so more defensive, I guess. You're not exactly going to be throwing Yarrick, I imagine, straight up the board, because he will probably die pretty quickly. Last pistol, yep, sure. And then standard Stormbolter profile. He again hits on 2s across the board, which is pretty strong, especially with the Power Claw. Which is just effectively a 4-attack Power Fist. 8/2/2, so nothing different there, but hitting on 2s is pretty strong. And then 6 attacks with a Power Sword if you're wanting a bit more volume, at standard profile of 4/2/1. No options, so can't change anything. Has the standard kind of keywords of being infantry character, epic hero, Imperium officer in his own name of Commissar Yarrick. Interestingly, then has the Will of Iron ability, which is yet another stand back up on a 2-up ability with 3 wounds, so not full health, but is still another one of those kind of annoying abilities of things coming back to life after you kill them, but is fairly useful for keeping your Commissar alive and fairly lore accurate with the fact that he has recently come back even though we thought he was dead. He then has his Hero of Hades ability, which is the one that gives him multiple options, which are quite interesting overall. There's one that is comical and could be a bit annoying for opponents, given how much it can be a headache when playing against a certain detachment. So he has Counter Strategist at the end of your opponent's movement phase. Really great timing to be able to do things. You can select one enemy unit that was set up or ended a move within 12, which is a huge range, which is even better than the Spectral Despite Challenge Met, which is 9 inches, and then one friendly regiment unit, which obviously limits it down from, you know, being able to do this with a Rogal Dawn, thankfully, and you have to be within 6 inches and visible to Yarrick. That regiment can either move D6, so effectively do a pseudo-reactive move, which is very useful for move blocking, so it might be able to get in front of a tank. They can shoot, which again, if you're a Scions unit or some of the other kind of crazy Kassakin kind of ones, could be quite terrifying to be shot by that, especially if they've got, say, orders up for like rapid fire and things like that. It means it's quite a lot of volume coming back at them. Or declare a charge, which is a 2 CP strat for Challenge Met. Admittedly, Hellions and Witches are slightly more killy in combat, but it might mean that you can protect a particularly valuable asset. Say Angron has come hurtling forward. You charge them with some Cadian Guardsmen. Angron is now not charging your Rogel Dawn. So there are some fringe cases where that could be pretty useful. Again, it's chosen in your command phase, so it is telegraphed to your opponent. That's what you're going to be doing in their turn. So it's not a complete gotcha, because they'll be aware to watch out for you being able to do this, but I think this is probably the strongest one, especially given the fact there are 3 different things you can do with the unit depending on what your opponent does. It's quite good for a defensive kind of thing, either moving away. If they were threatening a 9-inch charge, it's now anything up to impossible to a minimum 10. Or you can choose the order for decisive command, and that allows you to issue an order to a model within 12, and if it's the first order that unit has received, that order not only affects that unit but anything within 6 that is eligible. So you can give mass rapid fire, mass movement buff, so there's quite a lot of ways in which that could be strung out. If you've got a unit in front of you that is when ordered is kind of strung out across the board, could hit a heck of a lot of units with that 6-inch kind of aura coming off of it, so that's pretty powerful as well. So it's yeah, I'd have to look a bit more at that, but he can order, interestingly, regiment, squadron or titanic units, so kind of tanks and infantry, and also Bane Blades. Why not? So you could have 3 Bane Blades within 6 of each other, and all of them can get additional move or +1 to hit. Not sure how easy it is to get 3 Bane Blades within 6 inches of each other, but there is that option. So he has a wider range of abilities in terms of that. So I think with the eligible friendly unit, if he's targeting a regiment squad, I don't know whether that would then mean that the Rogel Dawn is still eligible, which would be interesting in that regard, because would be able to effectively order the entire of a guard army with a 20-man command squad otherwise. And then the final one is kind of situational, being able to reroll battle shock and leadership tests. If you are up against Tyranids, it's great. You can on the Shadow in the Warp turn choose this before battle shock, or before the Shadow in the Warp, or if you've got a lot of units holding objectives and this guy's within range, might be useful there, but I think it's probably the lesser of the 3. I think the decisive command can be potentially, again, be very powerful, where you can multi-order a lot of units. Depends on how many orders you can give out in the kind of guard build that you're taking with Commissary Yarrick as to whether that one is useful, but I think probably the counter strategist is probably the best overall. So it'll be very interesting to see kind of what he falls points wise. I imagine will probably be in the 100 to 150 range. He can also lead a fair number of units, so you can go with Cadian Shock Troops, Catachin Jungle Fighters, Deathcore Krieg, Kaskin Krieg, Combat Engineers and Tempestus Scions. So he has a lot of options of what he can go with, whether he is best placed with a unit just for ablative wounds, or if it's best to kind of leave him on his own. I'm not sure, especially with the get back up. A lot of those models kind of can be very annoying on their own, but I would kind of expect him possibly to be with something cheaper, only on the basis only on the basis of it being less beneficial for him to be with an expensive unit, because he doesn't provide any direct buffs to his own unit, other than he can do a counter charge with his unit. So again, with the kind of 4 power fist attacks equivalent, could do some damage. So yeah, could be slightly annoying in that regard. But yeah, that's Commissar Yarrick. It'll be tomorrow we find out about Wazdaka. So that'll be interesting to see how his kind of new rules fare, because the model itself is awesome. And they also tell us that Commissar Graves, the other guy they kind of showcased at Adepticon, is going to have a lot of guns from the sounds of things, or have a lot of shooting, so that'll be interesting. And yeah, hopefully we get some more rules this week that gives us a bit more of an idea around changes to how the game plays, because the kind of day sheets at the moment, it's a bit of a vacuum to know what will be good in the future. But yeah,